Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fantasycraft The Last City, presented by You Don't Meet in an Inn, an actual play podcast about exploring obscure tabletop role-playing games with a rotating cast. I am your host and GM for this evening, Austin Ramsey. My pronouns are he and him. You can find me and the podcast on Twitter at NotAnIn. And you can find any of my game design work at austin-ramsey.itch.io. This evening, I'm of course joined by Christine.
Hi, I'm Christine. My pronouns are she or they. And I'm playing Dorothy, the unborn mage.
Thank you. Also with us is of course Sasha.
Hi, I'm Sasha. My pronouns are NNs. And I'm playing Madam V, Captain V? Captain V. Who is a tree person who owns a boat. That's all you need to be a captain, really.
All right, thank you very much. And of course, last but never least, Hadrian.
Yep, that's me. I'm Hadrian. I'm playing Viper, the Bloodsworn.
Nice. Okay. So, who remembers what happened last session? It was 2 weeks ago, but who can recall?
We had a perfectly legal showdown, and then we filed paperwork for said perfectly legal showdown. And some people had some very scary visions that freaked them out just a whole bunch. And Viper is still alive, and that's cool. And that's it. Yeah.
No thanks to that doctor, but yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you hid in a pile of hay. That's pretty good doctoring for stable care.
I don't even know if there was a joke there, but it feels like there was a joke. Just emotionally.
Well, I mean, clearly the doctor stabilized Viper.
Well, Viper stabilized herself.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
Can't always jump.
So yeah, y'all basically scattered from the fight before the cops showed up, except for V, who
loves cops.
who went with the cops. And it seemed to go okay.
We were fine.
You mostly told the truth.
Said everything that was relevant to the case.
What is it? It's more like we told most of the truth, not mostly told the truth. I don't like your connotations.
Yeah, I think there was one lie that two lies.
It was of omission. It's fine.
Luckily for V, in spite of being bad at lying, the captain of the commander of the Coast Guard bought it hook, line, and sinker. So
You don't need many acting skills to get along in this town, it turns out.
when everyone is contained within a blockaded police state, the standards for entertainment go down, apparently.
Who'd have thunk it?
Dorothy, do you want to elaborate on the visions that happened?
Well, I was minding my own business, escaping from the police, as one does when you're innocent. And then I got transported to potentially a future world where the Spark had taken over the city, and all other diviners, fortune tellers were also like physically transported into this future where we could have pain and feel fear and potentially die. As dinovation goes, not the best. And it lasted a good, like, I want to say hour or so. And then we all popped back in. And unfortunately, I was on top of the Coast Guard's tower, so I had some splaining to do.
Yep, that's about right. Yeah.
Which I was very happy to do with the aid of my lawyer.
Okay, so you'll get off okay. But before we move on with that, I feel that that's probably the end of that arc. So we're gonna do y'all's panache and prudence. So
Start off this session with a bang.
you want a GM?
No? How dare you?
Okay, so Dorothy, what's your prudence?
Prudence is 1, so 20% of my money is saved into... Okay, I'll pull up the calculator. And then I have 4 panache. My money is... And does the income that you make with your panache, does that go into your stake or your coin in hand?
I always say the coin in hand.
Okay.
So that you have at least some extra money for the coming adventure. That you just haven't completely blown basically everything on bank investments and
Yes.
booze.
Yes, the stock market's definitely where all my money's going.
What's your prudence, Viper?
0.
So you're only saving 15% of your cash in hand.
Yep, which is going to be 1 silver because I only had 8 in my pocket.
Okay. Viper continues to live large.
Mm-hmm.
Don't spend it all in one place now.
And V, what's your prudence?
My prudence is 2.
Okay, so you're saving 25% of your money. If your cash in hand goes into your stake.
Okay. I have to pull up a calculator because I went to art school. Hang on. 75 times 0.25?
Nobody in STEM can do basic arithmetic either. Don't worry about it.
That's correct, Sasha.
Okay, so that goes into my stake?
Yes.
18. Okay. So that gets me up to 21 whole coins in the bank. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then our reputation and renown.
Those go up depending. You get reputation points equal to your legend.
No, plot time something. I'll look it up.
Okay. And what's the panache for UV?
5.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Dang.
So you get 50 silver as income.
Oh.
As tribute, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's never... Now there's a question. How do you get that 50 silver? In the rules, it says this is your monthly take from properties, businesses, scams, and other monetary endeavors.
Do you ever see a tree person so beautiful you start crying and you just sort of give them whatever money you have in your pocket?
I'll accept that.
No, it probably has something to do with it, like split between the opera and the ship.
I mean,
Those are
I kind of do love the idea of like Madam V modeling at the art center for people doing life drawing.
Oh, hell yeah. That's not super useful for the, because, I mean, from a, okay, if the point is to draw what you see, then yes. If the point is to actually learn anatomy, that's not gonna fucking do it.
I
He's
think
not
it's
gonna
to
be
draw what
helpful.
you see, and there's a lot to see
There's
with
just
Madam
a
V.
ton to see. There truly is.
Okay, so our adventure reputation is based off of the menace and increases by 1 per critical objective completed. So menace 1 to 5.
Yes. What page is that? Sorry.
343.
Great. I believe it was Menace 2.
Hell yeah. Okay, so we get 5 plus our legend. Reputation. So I have 15. And you need 30 to get up in renown track.
Oh, I'm also going to give y'all another 10 reputation each because you killed Decency
Oh yeah.
and like a half dozen of her assassins in broad daylight. Which I mean,
And then the chief of the Coast Guard was like, yeah, that's cool.
Seems legit.
yeah.
I could buy a title. I could
Do
buy
it.
military renown.
Yeah, you wanna
I'm gonna look at page 187 for those rules because we're playing a game that has rules. Hang on.
Viper, what's your panache?
That's 2.
2. Okay. So that is netting you 20 silver. And Dorothy, what's your panache?
4.
So that's getting you 40.
Yeah.
So how are you two getting your panache coin?
Schemes.
Schemes?
Schemes.
What variety of schemes?
Oh, I know. I'm going to be working alongside that guy on the boat to make bombs for the mob.
Ink. Right, yes. The giant who has hours owed to the mob and is making bombs.
Can I make smoke bombs? And flashbangs.
She makes it clear that is not what they are looking for.
Okay. I feel like Dorothy would feel like at this point the bombs are going to be made. We might as well get her debt paid off.
As long as they're getting bombs, you might as well be the ones who are getting paid for it. Is
Yeah.
that the... Yeah.
Yeah. It's not great.
The life of an arms manufacturer. And Viper, how are you getting your panache coin?
Let's see. I was gonna say earning it at the punch bowl, but probably just one single lucky bet at the punch bowl.
Is it like a what do you call it, a bad odds bet that you get lucky on, or is it just
Probably at some point. It was like this is my last silver, and this little rapscallion has like 20-1 on him. So fuck it. And then walks out the door with 20 silver. So
Oh, that's where the rest of your money went. Does Viper have a gambling problem?
It's not a problem if you're winning.
All right.
I mean,
Let's
she's
be clear
clearly
here.
not.
Let's be clear. 95% of my money from the last adventure went to buying ballistas for the ships.
You have a ballista problem.
I think we can afford Viper this one vice.
I suppose.
There was only 8 silver left over there to gamble with for the rest of the time after that. After our arms purchase. So I don't think it's that bad of a gambling problem.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Which is that the titles for the military title have captain at level 6.
Oh, you make your own.
Okay. Oh, you just fucking make it up because, yeah.
You're the
All right.
boss.
Those are just suggestions.
Because you're the
Okay.
captain.
All I had to do was buy a boat. I didn't even buy this boat. I just fucking stole it. Commandeered it. Commandeered is a nautical term. Okay. All right. So I'll just make one up. A good one?
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of like what. I mean, the crew of the ship will certainly call you captain, but you can bet your pants that no one in the Coast Guard will, except as a like purely term of respect, and not as a like you have any kind of authority.
What if it was though?
Well, then you better get to renown
Rank
6.
Fuck. All right.
Will they refer to me by my given titles?
Well, what titles are those?
Well, my military title is junior detective, and my hero-
That's what they called me back in the military.
and
Junior detective Dorothy.
my heroic renown is that creepy doll. I've earned that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they probably
That's what respect feels like.
acknowledge those titles.
Awesome. We can, when we go to new areas, make the GM make a roll to see who knows us based off of our renown. It's a good power trip.
Well, on that note, Viper now has 2 levels of heroic renown.
Yeah.
With the title Graven Guard.
Cool. So, does V have a level 1 captain? Or renown 1 captain?
Yeah. Captain.
Okay.
I see. Yeah. See, the higher I get, the more letters I will have. With CAPM. That's level 1.
I see. Okay. So on pages 188 and 189, you can see the favors you can get from your renown, which requires you to spend reputation. But
Oh, I won't have anything for a long time.
okay, so I think it's probably been about a week since the diviners of Enclave were whisked away to that potential guaranteed future. It's unclear which that is. And there's certainly been a lot of argument about it because different fortune tellers have different views on what their prophecies mean, whether they are things that can be avoided or whether they are things that are guaranteed. I think a lot of that depends upon whether what they predict is good or bad and who their customer is. You know, like the diviner who works for the bookies. Oh yeah, these prophecies are a sure thing.
Okay, Mr. Atheist.
Everything's tailored to the querent. That's just how it goes.
You can't be sure until it happens, right? So, what have y'all been up to this last week other than gambling away your money on bad bets?
Guess I have 3 things that I do. I want to finally get to the Smith's workshop to fill this hole in my head.
Oh yeah, you don't heal naturally, do you?
I do because I'm living metal, but unborns don't usually.
Right, okay. Alright.
But I think narratively, I need to get at least like a patch welded on or something.
Yeah, probably. Do you have a scar now down the middle of your face, or has that been like buffed down and then repainted?
No, I put my head in the oven. So it's pretty seamless. My body was just sort of out there waiting.
Oh, you detached your head and then put it... Okay, cool. You just weren't, like, hanging out. Yeah, alright, cool.
Yeah, Sylvia Plathing it.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say it. What about your hair?
Yeah, I had to reroute it.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say that if it's hot enough to melt metal, then it's certainly hot enough to singe the hair off your head.
You can just find hair?
Hair?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of hair is it? Is it...
Don't ask too many questions.
Is it horse hair? Is it human hair? What's the deal?
This seems like an awkward question to be asking somebody after you've known them for years.
Where's your hair coming from?
It's leaves. It comes from my body.
It came from a body.
Yeah. But people can just donate hair. That's a thing that happens. Like, you don't have to murder people for their hair.
I didn't murder. Oh my god, would that be?
I'm just saying.
Thought I killed someone for my hair?
You can get...
No, I didn't kill anyone for my hair.
Okay, I beg your pardon. I didn't mean to insinuate such a thing.
You didn't insinuate, you said it.
Far be it from me. I'm so sorry.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving this conversation and this house.
I still don't know where she got her hair from.
Good.
Viper's like, well, I'd kill somebody to have hair like that.
Thank you.
Damn.
Throw it over my shoulder.
Is your head still in hand during that whole exchange?
Maybe I'm rerouting it.
That's what I was thinking.
And I just tuck it underneath my arm and walk out in a huff. Some people.
So that was the first of 3 things you wanted to get done. What else?
I figure I'll let someone else go.
Okay. V, what have you been up to over the past week?
That is just a marvelous question, and I'm so glad you asked. I have no idea. Let's see. Well,
Accusing people of murder.
listen, we're friends. I figured we were close enough to talk about that stuff. I was wrong. I
Murder
apologize for the impropriety. I truly do. I know better now, so I won't fling around such language so easily, I suppose. I feel like there's stuff to do with the crew and with the ship. at least with what's her face, who's just joining, God, what is her name?
Are you talking about Broadwing's granddaughter?
Yes,
Violet Broadwing.
Violet Broadway. Violet. Okay, gonna get it.
Yes. There's also your new gunnery crew as well.
That's right. Who I still haven't named. Could just go without names. Okay.
For the crew that showed up to the fight, I'm giving them +1 competency as their XP bonus, since none of them did anything too specific other than picking up empty guns and loading them. And
Listen, that's a technical skill.
Lance did super stab that one dude.
And
But other than that, I think that's the only
right.
that was the only combat anyone engaged in.
Okay.
somebody shotgunned an unconscious person. That's not really combat, though.
No.
Yeah, no, I think
There's a steal.
that was Mabel, and she
That's
was
Mabel.
just sort of acting on her own recognizance.
She did get permission from the captain first, as
She
a
did?
reminder.
She fully did. She fully asked.
Yeah. So competence will basically make them slightly better at anything they don't have a signature skill for anything that's outside of their wheelhouse, basically.
Cool. Just generally kind of good at their job. I guess also check in with our friend Ingle. At least once before we leave. I would like to spend some time with her, just kind of like figuring stuff out. And I feel like that's by and large the like process of finding investors or whatever in the city is talking that over with Ingle. Since she's like the person who has to deal with them all the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
is this specifically about Ashwood, or is this the ship, or both? Because if it's
We'll
about
call me a little compy.
okay, just because I'm thinking that if
If it's about Ashwood, I think Viper's gonna be putting a stoppage on Ashwood for now, and we're getting these boys back home.
That makes sense.
so you're not going to be getting any investors for the lumber company while you're here.
At the current time, Viper is no longer concerned with raising capital. after being informed the world's probably effectively ending in like 3 months or so. So
Fair. Put your time and energy elsewhere.
you're gonna take these boys back home and stick them in the hole in the ground where they're safe.
Okay, I know you boys had dreams, but I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Gotta go back in the hole. Sorry about those ambitions.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that y'all are up to?
I am going to go to the Temple of the Swarm because that's where my mother ever like it's a little difficult because I mean it's like the god of chaos pretty much, so she either gained her powers through the god itself or like something masquerading as that, or like what's the word, not a minion but someone deep in whatever, an outsider connected to the chaos, the swarm. And since Dorothy got that vision, she's gonna go to the temple and like just sort of figure out like, hey, why did I get this? Can I actually help? What's going on? But I mean, it's going to be a big question mark because you're asking chaos for answers. Actually, all the gods kind of suck. Because we have like the god of secrets and the god of chaos and like...
The turtle's cool.
Yeah, the
It's
turtle's pretty cool.
So the swarm definitely does not have a temple inside of Enclave, as it's the god of beasts and wilderness, in addition to chaos. So where do you find its temple?
I go to a refuse pit.
Okay. And is that a temple, or is that just a place where you feel that it would likely have power?
It's a place of power.
Okay. And how are you beseeching it?
Let me double check. What chaos beasts in the wilderness? I guess I get a chicken to sacrifice to it.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't even know if this god is real. I don't think people know for sure. So yeah, I guess I sacrifice a chicken and throw it on the pit and wait to see if something happens.
Are you like asking any questions at this time, or?
Yes, I am asking, is what I saw, can I stop? Did I see what will be or what may be? I don't have the best relationship with the god of chaos, though.
I'd be surprised if anyone does.
Yeah, does anyone? Like...
Well, I feel like the priests and priestess of chaos probably have a pretty good relationship with them, but this is part of, I mean, I've been using the magic granted by this god without honoring it because I don't agree with how he got the magic.
Well, on the upside, it doesn't sound like the swarm is probably a very good bookkeeper, so I think
That's fair, yeah.
The god of chaotic bookkeeping. Give me a spellcasting roll.
Okay. $32.
32. All right. How would this? So you throw the sacrificed chicken on the ground, and it is quickly swarmed by vermin, like unnaturally fast and an unnatural amount of them. Insects, rodents, just all kinds of creatures associated with the refuse pit. And the answer you get back, I think honestly it's probably like some old newspaper blows and hits you in the face.
Yeah, okay.
And you like pull it back, and you can see that like it's stained and it's nasty, and like some pages have like the pages have sort of bled together with all the grossness on it. And what it says is that a weighty future that will not shift without the proper lever.
I'm kind of curious about that newspaper article now. That's a kind of crap headline.
Well, it's like several that have bled together.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna set the newspaper on fire and let it burn out.
Okay. So V, you are. What kind of things are you inquiring about in terms of investments with Ingrel?
Man, I don't know. Business numbers.
So, is it regarding the ship or something else?
Probably regarding this ship. I feel good with how we've outfitted it. I would like to outfit the crew a little bit better. I think part of that is part of this is also a discussion with Hanar and the other officers, like distributing gear to the crew. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I don't know how in fiction we've talked about what we want to do next. Because there is a thing here that I would like to do as preparation, which is to build a cage in the hold.
Okay. What variety of cage?
What you building?
Something that could hold a god, maybe?
Ambitious.
Not a big one, just like a little one. Just like a little one.
It's just a small god.
It's the smallest
Jail.
god we have.
I could just see you just like down there with like a nail and wood and just gonna arrest God.
Okay. So does V have any knowledge about this subject at all?
Let me check my interest in language is really quick. No, absolutely not.
Who might you approach about this topic? Because I suspect that although V doesn't have information on this herself, I suspect she knows that you probably don't just put up some wooden planks and call it a cage.
I have metalworking and outsiders.
That's a good place to start. Yes, hi. Also, I think we have an architect on board. Almost certain we do.
Yeah.
Which would be useful.
So,
hi. Yeah, what do you know about caging gods? If anything.
Well, it wouldn't be a physical cage. We could reinforce some sort of magically conductive metal with some ruins, but the main thing, if we're caging a god, would be more of a magical cage. Maybe a pocket dimension?
Pocket dimension, okay.
Uh,
What do you need to sorry.
Viper's in the room probably at some point. She's I thought she said, when you said not a physical, I thought you meant like a metaphorical cage.
Right, like a
very
society.
hard word problem.
Or etiquette, yeah.
Sudoku.
So what sort of thing do you need to support said pocket dimension?
You know what? Why don't I ask someone? I have some contacts. Let me look up my nerd demon spell.
Oh yeah.
Where is it? Oh my god.
An important caveat, we don't need to hold it forever. Just until we get to the Storm God.
Oh, wait, so we're not holding the storm god?
Oh, maybe that's faster.
Wait, okay. Let's just before. What god are we holding? What's
So
happening?
my thinking was we would head to the mountains, to the east on
Okay,
that island whose name I've forgotten.
okay. I'm with you there.
And we dig up the god of death, who is a big old worm who writhes beneath that mountain range, and
Okay.
we bring it to the storm god. And
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think that worm's gonna fit in a boat.
So-
yeah,
No, we just get a pickle
I mean,
jar.
I've
They
heard,
look
I've
they
heard
look pretty big
vast,
when I met them.
vast exaggerations about how big the god of death actually is.
Maybe I was just really small at the time.
Hold on. Viper has met the god of death.
Yeah,
Briefly.
get over it.
Can we have some elaboration here? In fact, I think this is Ingrel asking.
Okay. All right. I don't know how. No, you know what? This group doesn't get easily squicked. So Viper sort of opens her shirt and
Hell yeah.
yeah,
Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
on the in the left part of her rib cage points to a piece of whale bone that is stuck into her heart.
Ooh. Can I poke at it?
Uh,
Does it hurt if I?
no, it doesn't. It doesn't hurt. Well,
Oh,
not anymore.
purpose?
It doesn't hurt, but yeah,
Huh.
yeah. I met it once, briefly.
On purpose?
Yes.
Oh my. Okay. Story time. Excuse me. This is amazing.
Well, it's. You already know I'm not a root walker.
Mhm.
Well, that was part of the process, I guess. When it's time to pass the guard, it's what happens. You die and then you're reborn with the whalebone. And
I
you join
see.
the pod.
Oh my goodness. You know, you and I could probably have a lot to talk about because I wonder if I can. No, I wonder if I can use this like a variation of the spell to to fix me. Maybe. I don't want to be part of the pod. I recognize that that's like a huge honor, but like there has to be some kind of variation.
I can honestly tell you, Dorothy,
Mhm.
I've never thought about it.
Yeah, I mean it's only dying and coming back in a different body. Why would you ever think about that, right?
I've never thought about doing it any other way than the way I did it.
So how big was it? The death
The
god? I mean?
worm?
Yeah.
Bigger than a boat? Like a
So you're saying we're
Like a
gonna need a bigger
mountain?
boat?
Like a. Huh.
okay.
Okay, well-
I can't say for sure.
Well, pocket dimensions though they don't really work in the same like metaphysical space.
I'm also almost positive that I wasn't physically there. At least no one saw me leave. Like my body stayed, but I didn't.
Oh yeah, no, it's soul or life force or whatever. That I mean, of a god, that would be huge, especially compared to a mortal.
Okay, well, I guess I would take that into consideration when doing your measurements.
Could also. It would require a different kind of retrofitting for the ship, but we could pull it behind us in a net.
So here's my issue with this. So all of everything that's been happening, people are saying it's because the storm god has died. And a running theory that I've been working with is that it has died and now it's reborn in its infancy state and doesn't have control over its powers. So if we kill it again, then things are going to get like really bad.
What if it doesn't kill it though? What if they just talk? Death God's old. Death God is also pretty straightforward of the gods.
I mean, there's also, I don't.
Well, I mean, it doesn't just kill. Clearly,
But I
did the
don't
opposite of that to me.
know
Actually.
if the Death God and I will like get along.
I don't think any of us are going. Well, I mean, with the exception of Viper, I'm not sure that any of us are going to get along especially well with the God of Death being breakable.
Well, I mean, like, death isn't
Is
bad.
not much of a conversationalist.
It's just, I mean, I sort of like,
Do you already have beef with the God of Death?
not beef exactly. It's just that
Oh, how would
that
you describe it?
it's that my mother did some things, and that had caused a bit of a trickle down where I'm not entirely sure if it was someone that she had crossed, or if it was death itself that decided to strike my entire bloodline off the face of this plane. And I feel like me avoiding that by being in this thing might cheese death off a little bit, or point out where I am and help them finish up the job.
Valid
I don't
concerns.
know for sure. I mean, especially if it was death itself that did that.
Those are fair concerns.
I mean,
Are there gods that your mother hasn't bothered?
well, she, made a pact with the god of chaos or one of its envoys, so they didn't make them angry. She just did something for them to increase the amount of chaos in the world, and that pleased them enough to be granted the powers, and that's why my family can do magic.
Fascinating.
Yeah, yeah, fascinating.
So, out of character, Dorothy, how widespread is the knowledge of what caused the storm?
Well, I think I don't know. Like, all we really know is Enclave, and I think that the former priests of the Storm God were going around saying that the Storm God died, and then I think that they're saying that. I don't know. What are the Storm God priests of Enclave saying?
I think they got lynched.
Oh no, that's too bad. For me personally. What are the other priests and priestess saying?
I think that The only other one who would probably, I'm just looking at the gods. So there's the ghost turtle, whose paths are strength, protection, and spirits. Sizu, who is Zezu, who is secrets, darkness, and deceit. The Storm Lord, whom is a big old storm, and
that's the one that's dead, right?
well, here's the thing. Out of character, the storm was caused not by the god dying, but by being birthed into this plane. Okay. So I'm wondering how well known that is, or like.
Well, if we lynch the priests, then we probably don't know a whole lot about what's going on.
Yeah, especially since it probably was like a cult within that religion that enacted the ritual to birth the storm.
Oh, okay. They shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, no, it went poorly for them. They were probably the first sparks.
Oh, yeah.
That's what fundamentalism gets you, kids.
Lightning powers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's probably not very well known about what happens when you bring a god to this plane.
Okay, I'm gonna summon the nerd demon.
All right, what does this look like?
Gosh, what would a personification of knowledge look like?
Hungry book.
Owl with really long legs.
I think that it's a brain suspended in a glass sphere of fluid, and it has the spell of whisper, so that's how it communicates.
Gross.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it got big old glasses on the sphere.
No eyes, just glasses.
Yep.
Fucking nerd.
Okay, I'll be able to auto summon it, but I need to see if I'm cursed. Why is it always hard to find? No curse. Yay.
Okay.
Okay.
So, where are you doing this summoning?
In the middle of Ingrid's fancy guest lounging area.
Just in the parlor.
Yep.
On the coffee table.
Yeah.
Doing a good old 1920s seance.
Oh, yay.
So who is present when you do this? I'm guessing the three of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We should probably not spread the idea that we may or may not be killing a god until we figure out some things.
Okay. So the spell is cast, and this floating sphere of fluid with a brain in the center of it and glasses appears. And in spite of having no apparent way of air moving through it, there's the occasional bubbles moving through the sphere from bottom to top.
Thought bubbles.
And
So angry with you right now.
and it says, "Why have I been summoned?"
We have some questions about. Do you know what would contain the recently born god on this plane? This plane that we're on right now? That one?
To contain any god, you require 4 things. You require the proper ritual and the power necessary for that ritual.
Okay.
You require the creature, regardless of what you consider a god, its true name. You require a place of power for this creature. And
You okay there, Brain?
sorry, Sasha and Adrian are killing themselves laughing. Seeing them cracking up is making me crack
God for
up.
the mute button.
I don't want to interrupt because you're doing such a great job. But the voice is so fucking good.
And lastly, you require an object of power of that creature. Those are the 4 things you require to summon a creature.
I'm not asking to summon it. I asked how to contain it or destroy it or get it out of this plane of existence.
When you summon it, you can issue it commands such as stay.
You wouldn't happen to know the true name of the god, would you? I have to ask, right?
That is a fair question. I knew you would ask it.
Oh god, I hate asking to. And
I do know the name, but it is of great value. I will ask you to give me your knowledge of my name in exchange, thus freeing me.
I don't want it. We can figure this out ourselves, right, guys?
To be clear, if you do this, you won't be able to summon Mr. Knowledge Demon again.
I know. Until I get a more powerful spell.
This one is asking nicely. The higher one is dragging it, kicking and screaming to this plane.
Yes. Your name isn't worth the name of a god.
I think you just accidentally told it should be asking for more.
No. No. I am not.
Have you studied out this demon?
Mhm.
Yeah? What's its competency?
I'm feeling some die rolls coming on.
What was the fantasy
Its threat level is equal to my cat. So 6?
Is its competency?
Competence. Oh wait, competency 7.
Competency 7. Okay, give me a haggle roll. Unless, does it have haggle? I'm guessing probably not.
No.
Okay. And its threat level is equal to yours, correct?
Summon the
Threat
haggle
level is
demon
equal.
to haggle with the knowledge demon.
Yeah. The threat level is equal to my casting level. So essentially, yes.
Okay, and you're level 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm not making a haggle roll yet.
You're trying to bargain with this thing.
Not yet. I'm trying to figure out what I want to. I'm figuring things out. I'm having inner thoughts.
Okay, so you haven't told it that its name isn't worth. Because that's what it wants. And it knows what you want.
Look, I'll call you later. I'll end this stuff.
You know how the Skype sound kind of sounds like bubbles?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it dissipates.
Let's go see if we can scare up any former cultists. I mean, some of them had to go over underground, right? We couldn't have killed them all.
How on earth do you propose we do that? Uh-huh.
Just thinking.
Mm-hmm. Take your time.
Well, they would be probably on the roster of people who made it out of the city ASAP, since they are priests and priestess of the god of travel. So we should look at the travel what's the name? Like the crew lists?
Rosters?
Rosters! Yeah, we should look at the rosters because that was all very tightly regulated, if you recall. In fact, I'm going to ask Hannah if she knows anyone, because if anyone would have worshipped a god of travel, it'd be sailors, right?
Sure.
Okay. Now to lie about everything about myself and then go talk to someone I hope is going to become a friend.
Also, something to be clear is that, like, the ports are open,
Mm-hmm.
but there's not a whole lot in Enclave in the way of ships, right? Because
Right.
anything that wasn't Coast Guard or built in secret would have been
Mhm.
burned for firewood long ago. So there wasn't exactly a whole lot of people who left when
No, but there's a lot of people clamoring to leave and like filling out forms and trying to jump ships.
okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna go and ask around. Maybe ask at some temples, see if you can there's some fortune tellers in the city, and maybe we can get some innovation up on this.
More eyes on the problem? Certainly.
Oh,
All right. That
okay,
sounds like a plan.
we'll meet here for not dinner then.
All right.
I'll go with, I guess. Not gonna be doing much good just lounging on the couch.
Maybe you'll find one. Just we'll walk in.
Oh, you'd be surprised how much good can be done.
I mean, we have 4 big questions, right? We need the name of the creature, we need a proper ritual, place of power, and the object of power of the creature. So I guess any information about that would be good. I mean, again, best bet would be to find a priest of this person, but not necessarily the only way of finding it. Books exist, We have a library. We have a whole university. I'm sure there is some writings on this.
Certainly, I can
Oh, shit.
put my eye to that.
Viper pulls out her reading glasses. I'm going to the library.
Excellent.
What do y'all know? She secretly mastered the Dewey Decimal System.
Beat it into submission.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So I'm not sure if I got this across clearly when I was speaking as the knowledge creature, that the ritual requires power commensurate with the power of the creature being summoned.
So say that again?
The power required of the ritual
Uh-huh.
is, like, the amount required for that is increases the more powerful the thing being summoned is.
Okay.
So
So I need to do some, like, telepathically, like, raise some weights and do a training montage to get my magic up, or...
well, this is going to be like a ritual as ritual, not a call from beyond level 3.
Yeah, I got that much. You're not just gonna let me just, like, just pick up the phone. Yeah, no, I got it. That, yeah, it has to be a ritual, and then there's ritual cost, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yes. Okay.
I'll probably need a whole bunch of magic people. We'll charge your crystals.
God damn it.
Yay! Yeah, we'll charge your crystals and then, just bro out and get enough magic as possible.
Uh-huh. Could have been a spirit bomb. You really could have just easily been, but that, yeah, you have your methods, and far be it from me to dissuade you from them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you gotta remember that doesn't the spirit bomb kill like a lot of the grass and stuff around it, and like the plants?
I've never seen an anime in my life. I'm sorry.
I'm not a nerd. Thank you.
Fair.
Let's get deep in the weeds over the mechanics of the spirit bomb. Go.
Please, lad.
Okay, so Dorothy is going to go speak to Hanar. Viper is going to the university's libraries. And what is V up to?
I don't know. I truly don't.
There is real mechanics for going to fortune tellers and getting hints. If you want to do that.
Sure.
You can also just like grab random people on the street and like ask if they're secret storm priest and priestess. I mean, people just toss money at you because you're so beautiful, so.
Hey, do you want to tell me about the super illegal cult? Like, super illegal.
I mean,
I find it so attractive when people are secret cults. Do you know anyone like that?
to be clear, the cult was never made illegal.
I mean, that's sort of splitting hairs.
Oh yeah, I know. I just wanted to be clear that like it wasn't like they were, tried and executed.
They were just executed.
Not by the Coast Guard.
I feel like illegal is an appropriate term for ethnic cleansing.
So, all right. Well, Sasha, you think about what V's up to for a bit.
Happy to do so.
All right. So, Viper, what are you looking for in the stacks?
God, I just feel like Viper would be a librarian's just worst like enemy. There'd be like posters of her up, like, do not admit this woman, and she's like foot on
Have
tables.
Any idea how many books I can pull at the same time?
Ugh. Just ugh.
Just picks up a shelf. I need this whole section.
Well, I think I'm going to start broad and look for any major tomes about the Stormlord.
Let me pull up the rules for library use.
Oh fuck! Do those exist?
Yes. I love rules, you guys. Don't you love rules?
Now I'm less confident.
I'm pretty sure it's a wisdom, actually.
Isn't it?
Okay, I'm more confident.
Library access. So you can. Oh, okay. So you can pay 5 silver a day for assisted research.
Luckily, I've got 20.
So making research checks are much easier.
What page
All it
is
says
this?
All it says is much easier. So this
169.
is yeah, and then a research check. Circumstances. If it's a single book, scroll tablet. Several books, scrolls tablet. Dozens of books, scrolls tablet. Hundreds of books, thousands of books. Well organized or disorganized. And if the desired information is linked to other topics in the area, linked to most other topics in the area, some other topics in the area, a few other topics, no other topics in the area.
And this is research? I see on page 77. Okay. So this is absolutely thousands of books, scrolls, tablets, but it is well organized. On like as has been established, Enclave was set up to be the university.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what if Rapture was set up by a bunch of nerds?
So Rapture.
Except without any Randianness. Actually, no. Never mind.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
There's a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Linked to some... And it's probably linked to some other topics in the area. So, let's see. This is an investigate check, which you are very good at.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be DC 30 and
Hell
take
yeah.
you 2d6 days to get through to clear out this.
To take out a loan to get a.
But what if you have the services of the... Which one is it? I guess library access. All it says is it assesses research. It doesn't like say how.
I mean, Viper's not a student, so I think paying that 5 silver is just getting access to the library. All right.
They don't
mean
let me use
Viper's
the
not a
computers.
What's your login?
Yeah.
Just punching the computer.
Okay.
Okay.
So give us that investigate check.
All right. And there's no modifiers on it.
Nope, unless you're spending any
Okay.
action dice.
I am gonna do that. So I'll do the roll first.
Or,
Actually. Or
I was going to say, or V could come and help, but considering that the DC is 30, which V would need to beat to give you a bonus, I don't think that is happening. Because I don't think V has
Yeah.
much in the way of investigate.
excuse you, I have a -1.
V just keeps bringing Viper opera books.
Aw,
Well, let's see what happens.
I believe in you.
Well, I hit enter.
The degree was based on performance, not history. So.
Roll20 is really dragging this one out. Yeah,
The suspense.
Yeah. Get it back up here.
Yeah, I'm
The
gonna,
gods don't want you to learn.
gonna refresh.
Yeah, clearly. All right. Let me click that button again, and hopefully this one will go. So that's a 20 on the base roll. And let's get some action die action going on here. Make it explode, and only a 23.
Okay. Frankly, I am confused about why the DC for something gets higher the more material there is. I understand why the time gets higher, but I feel like the DC should be dependent upon the obscurity of the information. Of course, you are going for something fairly obscure.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's probably up there in terms of obscurity.
Yeah. So give me 2d6 to see how long it takes you to not find the information you're looking for,
Okay,
which doesn't prevent you from trying again, notably.
Ooh, 6.
6 days. Okay.
That's a roughie.
Yeah. So Viper moves into the library at the university
Mm-hmm.
and is not a... Well, what were you looking for exactly? The true name?
Yeah. I'll say true name. Yeah. That seems like it would be the thing most likely to just be written down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that in most of the tomes, the god is referred to as the Storm Lord. There is no specific name given that you can find, unfortunately, at this time. So, Dorothy,
Ask me about recipes or census data.
I mean, I think you did get information about the followers of the Stormlord,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not
Nothing
what
that's going to be immediately helpful.
Yeah, you get a lot of like their history and their rituals, and
Ooh,
because you got a 23.
that's actually good because, like the history and rituals, I could tie into the place of power and objects of power.
That's true. You could indeed get that from those, I think. That's fair. Let's see. What places of power would they have? Air, water, and travel are the domains.
It's an aircraft carrier.
This Final Fantasy, this bitch.
Yeah.
I think that you discover that most mountain ranges have at least one peak that has been converted into a temple of the Stormlord. Up where the place that is difficult to travel to, that is up in the thinnest of air, and is open to the rain and wind and lightning. If
Nice.
those with sharp eyes can occasionally spot them, as they often have lightning rods around them, but from ground level, it's not easy to see them.
Thinking like the Airbender temples in Avatar.
Yeah, that's fair, I would think. But on the tops of the mountains.
The tippity tip top.
Yep, exactly. Where would... I think that the most famous
Well, I
one
certainly see one nice, real big mountain
to the east.
on this map. Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably the most famous temple is at the very top of this very large mountain.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Which is not at all named.
Mount fuck you.
Oh, fuck off.
Well, we'll figure out what the name is later, unless.
Those aren't gonna do it?
Hmm?
Those aren't gonna do it for you?
Maybe colloquially.
Yeah, I mean that's not probably not what they call it at the least. Oh, looking at the who is responsible for the various islands. According to our planning document, that one belongs to you, Sasha.
Oh, it sure does. Wow. So I can call this mountain whatever I want, can't I, Austin?
Yes,
We're not
you can.
calling it Duckburg.
Well, I mean, consider like the most famous mountain, Everest, is just like means like tall mountain. It's the tallest. It's the one.
Yeah, no, people are bad at naming things.
Or good,
places.
or really good at it.
Let me rephrase it. People are not creative about naming places.
Fair.
So yeah, that whole island, that fortress town, the mountain range, the forests, all that's up to you for details and naming, Sasha.
Hooray. Let me just load up some names.
And be sure to put that in the Fancy Craft planning document, please. So you find out where that most famous of temple is. What symbology would they have? Or what items of power would they have? Does anyone have any... Hadrian, you made this roll. Do you have any suggestions for what items are involved in their rituals?
It was air, water, and travel.
Yes.
Were the
Maybe windmills and sails?
I was thinking it's a piece of a ship's mast that has been struck by lightning.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. That's probably a very...
It's hard to get.
Yeah. A very prominent object of power in the religion.
It's actually really good. It's all of them.
Yeah.
It's all of it. Well done.
Okay, so I think you're able to get that information from your 2 days, or sorry, not 2 days, 6 days of
She
research.
tried really hard and she did really well.
Yeah, you got a place, you got an object.
By the end of it, her hair's like no longer in a ponytail. She's got pencils stuck behind both ears.
Glasses without any lenses in them.
Yeah.
Took her 2 days to realize that she was reading it upside down.
Aye.
Okay. Before we touch base with Dorothy and Hanar, it's about 7:30, so I think it's time for us to take our break. Okay, so we will be back shortly. See you all then.